See, what's wrong with people on the planet Earth? They tend to think that they're the only earthlings. We are the human beings. We are the rulers of the planet Earth. When in reality, every living creature from insect to ant to bacteria is an earthling. And therefore, different forms of extraterrestrials, depending on the ladder of their intellect and existence, come to Earth. There are bacteria that come to visit bacteria. There are humanoids that come here. The ones that frequent the planet Earth the most, right, Uranians, are what they refer to as the little people. They frequent most here, and that's because back in 1947, one of their ships crashed here because of a storm, and they work off electricity magnets. And when they came back to recover the bodies of the wreck, they encountered certain American officials, Truman in particular, who all they asked for was the bodies and the remainings of the wreckage to take back, and they made him make a bargain with them to give them certain diseases and certain formulas like energy equals mass times the speed of light, and your formula of splitting atoms for the atomic bomb, which they told the extraterrestrials they were going to use for something good, but in turn used for something evil. And they didn't return all of the bodies, and they did return all of the wreckage. So the extraterrestrials, through what they call telepathy, put Truman out of his misery, and Eisenhower picked it up. Eisenhower came into office, and he became the one who was a negotiator for a certain project whose name I won't mention. And he became a communicator between the extraterrestrials then. You follow that?
Yeah,
and he also betrayed them. They gave y'all the cure for cerebral palsy. They gave y'all the cure for polio. They gave y'all the vaccine for cholera and for malaria. And they would have given you the cure for cancer and all the other diseases, but they betrayed these beings. Other beings came from other galaxies because it's an interplanetary thing of other galaxies who came here from other forms of life, for lack of a better word, to assist the little people who are really just scientists. There's different formations of stars. Some beings come in here as scientists. Therefore, apt to take you up on a ship and examine you, to find out how your organs work, find out how your brain works. But mortals on Earth are only using a fraction of their brain. Certain planets where the people have evoluted for millions and millions of years, they use their whole brain. And human beings, for some reason, have stopped. As you were evoluting in the beginning of your time, thousands of years ago, you were becoming smarter and beginning to use more of your brain, and that was giving you more psychic powers. But wicked extraterrestrials have taught human beings how to use computers, which made their brains stop developing. And if you don't develop your brain, you're going to cut off your psychic power, and y'all won't have telepathy and all of the powers necessary for communicating with extraterrestrials. So now you're doing everything on computers, and you stop developing the brain. So the extraterrestrials are concerned, but you're so fascinated with the computers and how fast it gets things done that they can't convince you that thousands of years are being lost because human beings are not calculating with their hands and not developing their minds and not studying things from an esoteric standpoint of view, but they're looking at everything from a monetary and physical standpoint of view. So they foresee that planet Earth is about to destroy itself because man has got more sophisticated with his technology than he has in his spiritual powers. So they sent the Quran, they sent the Torah, they sent the Injil. They, through telepathy, have communicated with certain mortals like Muhammad and Zoroaster and Buddha and Musa and Isa. Well, Isa is a different creature because he was caught between two worlds, and communicated with them and try to send down this information so that they can teach you and get you developed spiritually for when the mothership comes, which you read in Revelation 21 as the crystal city that Jesus said would come out of heaven with the 24 elders, which Ezekiel saw. But you're not ready for it. You're caught up in the physical things and the luxuries of the world, and you're being persuaded by the cherubim to lean towards the darker side of things instead of by the seraphim to lean towards the lighter side. So to answer your question, many different types of beings are coming to this planet. The most important visitation was around 1947, after you bombed Hiroshima and Nagasaki, because you almost, with through atoms, split your planet. And if you would have split your planet, you would have interfered with things that are being done in the center of the planet in a place called Wahala and Shambhala. So the extraterrestrials started sending people from the vortex. They went into the bottom of the Bermuda Triangle, which opens up 19 times a year. You understand that? It opens the way to a fourth generation. And they come in the vortex of beings from the same galaxy as the little people, but they live underwater as opposed to on land. And they come here when they're living under the sea here in the Atlantic Ocean and different places, and they have empires there. And everybody is working to keep you from destroying the planet so y'all can develop. The only thing that cannot be done is they cannot interfere with the natural course of your planet. because it'll be thrown into a star holocaust, meaning the magnetic field of the planet will be reduced, which y'all are doing anyway by removing the ozone layer. And we're trying to figure out any way we possibly can to re-knit the ozone layer, because if the ozone layer is moving, ultraviolet waves come in, you have 10 years before your planet will be destroyed. So extraterrestrials are doing everything in their power to keep you from destroying yourself, and the cherubims are here in the form of human beings, and y'all just don't see them, they're white people, and they're doing everything in their power to destroy you. Let me give you little cues. If the man says drive at 55 miles an hour, and he makes a car that does 260. Don't smoke cigarettes, and they got cigarette commercials. Alcohol will kill you, and they got alcohol commercials. Drugs will kill you, and they import drugs in the country. You can't even smuggle a piece of jewelry in from South America, but they can't stop hundreds of pounds of drugs. There's obviously an inward conspiracy for human beings to destroy themselves out of their ignorance. And extraterrestrials are not allowed to intervene. They can only suggest, or through telepathy, or influence certain human beings to make them react certain ways, or just incarnate and teach, like in my case. I was assigned here to teach you, to try to raise your consciousness so that when the ship comes, you'll be ready. But I'm having such a hard time because you don't believe nothing I say because I'm not white. You believe the cherubims and everything they teach. If the white man came on today and said, I made all of this up, you always believe it. With all the facts that I taught and every scripture and every verification, you still say, I knew there was something wrong with him all the time. It's that easy. The same way Malcolm X was easily influenced by the cherubim to turn against Elijah Muhammad. It's that easy. And that's holding y'all back. You have got to get back into using your calculus ability. You've got to get back into using your psychic powers. You people have psychic powers. How many times have you thought about calling somebody and you picked up the phone and they were there? How many times have you thought about seeing a friend that you haven't seen and turned the corner and they were standing there? How many times have you walked up on a person and said, I know this person, I don't know from where? These are people you know in your spiritual life. Some of you people know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all think I'm nuts. Some of you people have had extraterrestrial communication. Some of you people have had extraterrestrial dreams and visions. Some of you people know that you don't belong on this plane, and other people don't know it. Some of y'all are mortals, and some of y'all are supreme beings. And the ones in there, the supreme beings inside, they know what I'm saying is true. They don't know how to get back because they've fallen so far, but they know there's something not normal about the way they feel and the way things happen to them and the way life is set up around them, and they know that people are out to hurt them and situations always work against them. When they try to tell people, people say, oh, you're just paranoid. When you go to get a job and they pick the other person standing next to you and you say, dang, these people just don't like me. Then you go home and say, that's just paranoia. There's no paranoia. The devil knows who you are, and he sees it in your eyes even where you can't see it, and he's out to stop you. He will block everything you want to do. He'll make your life totally miserable. When there's 5 people to get picked in the college, you'll have the highest credentials, and you won't be the one to pick. You understand? When the bus gets ready, when you coming down the street, the bus is pulled off, everybody else catches the bus gets away from you. You understand down there? You get down there, someone says, boy, the train just left. I'm sorry, that was our last pair of green shoes. And then you don't realize that this has been happening to you your whole life. Then you sit back and say, why does everything always happen to me? That's because you are a visitor. You understand? You're a seed of the elders and you're lost here, and you better wake up soon. Because when the devil opens up the door against you, he's not going to show no mercy.
What we are about the business now is awakening.